a beautiful display of ball for the brand new Pittsburgh Steelers, who are under the leadership of a man from Greenfield. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is a Super Bowl champion. He's been a head coach of the Green Bay Packers, the Dallas Cowboys, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fresh off a night where everybody's saying, hey, this guy might actually be able to coach some quarterback a little bit. Mm-hmm. All three quarterbacks had all-pro type nights for the Pittsburgh Steelers last night. Ladies and gentlemen, calling the plays, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, Coach!
How you doing?
Hey, gentlemen. How we doing? It's good to see everybody.
Hey,
AJ looking slick, high and tight. Look at you.
You're looking good, Coach.
Hey, you look good, too. Look at that beard. Nice trim. Nice. How was last night? Hey, how was last night for you? I thought it was potentially going to be emotional walking out of that tunnel, even though it was a preseason game. Being the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, I think to you means a lot. Last night, first time kind of walking out there. What was it like for you? And did you have any different feelings than you've had? Obviously, you've been a head coach for 100 years now, but did last night feel different than another preseason game?
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, it was a very heavy day, all day emotionally. So, but it was great to get started. You know, you always reflect back to April, everything that goes into getting ready to play that first game. But yes, personally, it was very emotional.
Did you cry? Did you drop some tears last night? Did you walk out there and say, 3 miles from here? That's where I was. Was there any tears last night? Was there any conversations or moments? And last night after the game, before we dive into game, when you put your head on that pillow, big pillow. Huge pillow. It's a head coach of Pittsburgh Steelers.
Firm pillow to keep that head up.
Because the head, big brain in there. So that's a big pillow. When you lay that thing down there, do you go, I'm the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers? How often do you have those moments? Are you doing any of that?
I mean, you asked me to come on and talk about quarterback play. I could get this abused back home.
No, we're talking about.
I mean,
heavy is the crown. Heavy is the head. I'm sorry. Where's the your Pittsburgh Steelers head coach? I'm trying to see if you still have that feeling of like this is the Pittsburgh Steelers, because it was very obvious whenever you got signed. It was like a huge deal to you. Do you still have that right now? Or are you in the middle of work and job? Like, hey, we got to get this team good. Who cares about where we are right now?
Oh, definitely. No, it's not lost to me at all. I mean, every day is a reminder of this great opportunity. I mean, growing up here and being, a huge fan of the black and gold, now to wear it. I mean, Aaron and I were talking in pregame about just how special, that, last night was, for the start of it. But yeah, trust me, it's not lost. There's reminders all the time. I mean, it's every day going to work. I mean, I walk and drive the streets that I grew up on. So being back here it's incredible. It's incredible for our family, and we thoroughly enjoyed last night. Just the experience. Very thankful for it.
Hell yeah, I'm happy to hear that, because that has kind of been very obvious since you got the gig. I think to all Yinzers everywhere, Yinzers have been pumped up and excited to see what your team looks like. And guess what? Hey. We passed the test last night with 100 different quarterbacks. Yeah. I mean, it felt like last night was all systems go for your offense. How should we be taking away what last night was as a first preseason game, but also our first time getting to see you with the Pittsburgh Steelers young quarterbacks potentially of the future after Aaron's done?
Well, big picture, I mean, it's definitely it's preseason football. So as we know, and, obviously you playing in the NFL, understand this. There's so many different things you're trying to accomplish, in the preseason. So I thought we got off to a good start there. But from the quarterback position, I've been saying all along, this is an outstanding room. With the Hall of Famer, Aaron Rodgers. But I've been nothing but impressed from, really early in the spring with Mason Rudolph, and I was excited to see him play and take those first reps. And I thought he had a hell of a night. And then you got your two young guys. I mean, Will Howard's been waiting for this opportunity for over a year. So it was great to get Will out there. And he had some tough preseason situations, which always happen. Things are not always clean. And then he responded with a great 2-minute drive. So that was excellent. And then, and Drew had a huge second half. So, I think it's clearly a performance that we can build off of as a quarterback room. But this is a hell of a room. I'm really excited about these guys.
Last question for me before AJ has one for you and a couple of the boys who we know you have to get back to work. We appreciate you taking the time. We saw Drew Aller in his biggest game at Penn State whenever he was taking on
Oregon.
No, who was it? It was free the playoff game. Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
And we saw the moment. It was the last play that he had of the season after he was potentially being crowned the next guy, and he made a bad decision. And then that obviously got very loud. But everybody that was around him said, "This guy's a guy. This guy's a guy. He's big. He's strong. He's fast. He is a quarterback. He is what he is." But obviously saw some things his last year at Penn State didn't go great. You know, it is what it is. You guys draft him. Everybody thinks this is a surprise that the Pittsburgh Steelers draft him. And then we see you working with him like in the first couple of days, and everybody's like, hold the phone. Mike McCarthy gets a chance to basically mold a 6'5" guy who has all the capability. Do you view it like that? Like whenever you get a chance to work with him, somebody that everybody knows the immense upside, like the size, the athleticism, the arm, everything. How do you view it when you first start working with a quarterback like Drew, and where are we in that entire process? And I think we say the same thing about Will too, as you have to decide about these younger quarterbacks. But at some point, can you just tell me about that process and development of the quarterback? Because all anybody says is, well, it's McCarthy just taking care of these guys. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I would say that those are kind of words. I mean, first and foremost, if we go back to the draft process, you know, when we drafted Drew, we felt like we were getting a first round pick. When just the value that our personnel department had on him, coming out of his junior year, and just sit there and listen to all the reports and just as you talked about the timeline of his career and what happened his senior, he had the injury and so forth. So, and all that's holding true. And Will Howard, just you look at the way he finished the college football series. So you got two excellent young guys here. I mean, we have a quarterback process that definitely works. I mean, Tom Arth does an incredible job. I think you clearly have to recognize the quarterback coach in this process. Tom's the guy that's, our offices are next to each other. He's in there every day, bright and early. We got a good plan for these guys. And then it's special because you do have Aaron in the room that's able to, frankly, say the things before you can even get them out of your mouth. And it's a lot like parenting because, when you have kids and you tell them to do something, they get, it's okay, but when you got a Hall of Famer that tells them to do it, it obviously carries a different tone to it. So it's a really good room. These two young guys are blessed to have that the asset of knowledge and experience that Aaron's very forthcoming with, and it's a quarterback process that Tom Marth is doing an excellent job from his part of it, and it's just something I've been a part of for over 30 years. And it's a system that works, and these two young guys are doing a hell of a job.
And this is why you are the head coach of the Steelers at this exact time. I think that is a part of the story that is going to be told at some point in Yinzer lore. But last night was an exciting start to it all. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Coach, I'm just curious, like all the behind-the-scenes stuff that maybe we don't get to see as fans. That this is your first time with this staff, like in a game day situation. So how is your what are you guys working on with your communication, the game day operations? Do you guys take this as a big opportunity to work on all the little things that we may not see?
That's a great question because we were really challenged last night. Our ace, Steve Skarnecchia, just had a medical situation that he was attending to, so he's my chief of staff, and he's the guy that's in charge of everything, especially the little things. So it was, a challenging, opportunity for us as a coaching staff, football operations. So, and especially being the first game out the door. So there's a lot of running around, frankly, behind the scenes and making sure, we had everything buttoned up and you're trying to do what's best for our football team, our program. It's easy to come into an established organization and just, change the date on this is how I've done it. This is how we do it. But also this is Pittsburgh. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a lot in place that, goes back, generations. And, and I'm very mindful of that and how we, do all the little things that lead up to a game. And so that part of it is fun. There's things that we'll correct and change up for next week. But, it was great to, to get that first home game win and, because winning's important. I know it's only the preseason, but you have to learn to win again, and that's something that's true each and every year.
Yeah, a lot different bus ride home. It just as a metaphor after a dub as opposed to a loss. Not that you guys.
I had the ultimate ride home last night. I had a police escort, so I think I made it to I think I made it home in about 7 minutes.
Look at this. This is what it's like, though.
Only if you win.
This is what we're talking about. This is Yinzer King stuff. You know, Bill Carr. You should see Carr. They do that for Carr already right now. So
no doubt.
Yeah, this is
no doubt. That's special place. Special place.
Look at you getting police escort back to the house.
Hell yeah. Cool.
So
Mom and Dad, hey, welcome back. Hey, go win, Mikey.
Like Elvis.
Grab a Peroni.
Go win, Mikey. Come on in.
A Peroni.
Whatever. I don't know what they're freaking called.
Hey, Tone has the last question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, obviously it was a great night, but you and I both know when we sit down, we watched the All-22 today. It wasn't all candy and rainbows last night. So what do you think when we sit down today, me and you together, we're going to see that we need to work on coming up here in the future?
Oh, all the little things. I mean, you can start with the fundamentals. I mean, that's always the case. I think the big one that jumps out at you is the penalties. This is really a normal process. I know my personal experience, when you get out there and you want to be ultra competitive and you want your play style and the physicality and you get down to, how you're performing at the whistle. So we'll definitely, we have some reviewing there that we'll take the time to go through it. But yeah, the fundamentals is really the thing that always comes out of these games. So, starts in the trenches, and we call it the Steeler 6, the Steeler way of doing fundamentals. So that's what we'll be highlighting when we get together with the players tomorrow.
I didn't pay close enough attention. You guys didn't tackle good, right? Was that something? Because you said you guys weren't tackling. How was the tackling last night?
You're hilarious.
That was a big conversation.
Yeah, people weren't happy.
Yeah, it was a huge.
I don't know. Give me your view. How did we tackle this?
I don't remember thinking, "Wow, this is soft football team." I don't remember thinking that. I do remember thinking about an Iowa guy a couple of times.
Yeah, Coach.
Well, I got the all-time leading tackler right there, AJ Hawk. AJ, how did we do? What did you think?
That's good.
I thought you guys did great. Especially, I think people are worried about the Packers tackling. I think coming out of that game, not you guys tackling.
So no, I thought I did. I thought we got off to a good start. In a number of areas, but there's always plenty to do. As a coach, you always like to win, and but more importantly, it gives you more energy when you take it into the emphasis of being accountable to do it the right way.
I love that you said, yeah, all right, so we did tackle good. Okay, just so we can put that to bed. It got pretty loud there for a while. Okay, all-time leading tackle for the Green Bay Packers right there. Not me, just so this guy says it. Actual last question, and we apologize for taking up your time. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Coach, listen, I'm watching that game last night. I was looking at Caden Weechin, and I obviously knew what he can do. I think a lot of people maybe didn't. I said, God damn, that's a young Randall Cobb out there. And I don't know if you guys drafted him envisioning that, or maybe he was just going to be mostly a return guy, because I think he had maybe more receiving yards last night than he did in 4 years at Iowa. But is this something that, we can maybe envision a little bit more moving forward? Like, is he going to be heavily involved as a receiver, or is it another one of those things where it's just, hey, it's the preseason, he's a young guy, we wanted to kind of see what he could do out there?
No, he definitely has to do more than, being a returner. I mean, it's important for your players to always have two jobs. I mean, that's something I firmly believe in philosophically, as far as your offense and defensive responsibility and your special teams responsibility. So, I mean, I hope to God he could be a Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb was an absolute stud for us and during his career. So, but that was a big play. That was a big play in the game, and it's a basic 5-step drop that we've run a million times, and it was great to see Drew sticking in there on time, and to see Caden, obviously, get after it there for a huge play in the game.
Yeah, huge play, a lot of explosives. Preseason football has been fun this year. Can't wait to watch your team continue to go. You playing Aaron Rodgers ever? Because I heard you were going to play him, man. He didn't want to play, right? Remember?
That's what I said.
That's what I heard.
Well, hell, just put him on your show again. Jesus Christ. I thought we were on the same team here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
got any follow-up?
The head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers here, Coach Mike McCarthy. Thank you.
Yeah, Coach.
Perfect.
After Yinzer's fans everywhere go, we got the quarterbacks of the future, but that ultimately means, who got drafted higher, who's potentially a little bit more tall, I guess, younger and everything. Drew Aller out of Penn State gets drafted to the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of people confused on how high of a draft pick it was, certainly in Pittsburgh. Okay, we have Will Howard. We haven't even given him an opportunity. Everybody's acting like Will Howard's starter around here. What are we doing? Well, they fell in love with the possibility of what Drew Aller could be after chit-chatting with him, I do believe. This guy's tall, he's athletic, and I think he figured out how to hit a broadside of a barn.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's got it in everything that you draft people off, which is like potential, potential. The fact that he is seemingly hitting it this quickly, you got to think Big Mike kind of in his bag with this entire thing. You go all the way back to the OTAs and the practices. I mean, Coach Mike McCarthy's not even looking at the ball on Drew Aller. He's literally just looking at his feet close. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do this. And it seems like he's athletic enough to be able to pick this up. And if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, with how Will Howard played and with how Drew Aller played, and even Mason Rudolph.
I think he was 8 of 8.
You got to think to yourself, like, hey, this offense seemingly awesome. Can't wait to watch this. Who's this kid from Iowa? Is this guy going to be the small guy underneath for all of us? Because we got Mount Washington. We got Freiermuth, you got Nowakowski, you got DK, you got Michael Pittman, okay? You got off the
big
bus.
Team.
And you got this Weegan guy.
Yeah.
This guy, if he's going to be able to get open underneath, he should be able to feast, just like Edelman did if you give him an option route, which I think Aaron is very easily understandable with and how they feel. It's like you watch that offense of the Steelers last night with all of the quarterbacks, you think to yourself, wow, the future looks just fine. And wow, this is the first preseason game and the offense looks like this. You got to get super excited about a guy who run this offense for 11 years already?
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers and what's possible with all the other weapons. I think Pittsburgh Steelers come out of last night very excited about what's about to be and what the future is. Tone, is that accurate?
Yeah. And one of the guys that wasn't mentioned there when Mason was in quarterback, he just was feeding Jeremy Bernard, who was their second overall pick. In the second round out of Alabama, the wide receiver. He wore the concussion helmet last night. Looked awesome doing it. But no, it was great all around.
That's not what it's called.
It's called a Guardian cap.
I like
It's a
concussion
concussion
helmet.
Okay. All right, I like concussion.
They got the logos on it. It looks cool now.
Yeah, well, and it doesn't have that big matte, ugly.
No.
They gotten a little bit more flash.
They figured it out.
Yeah, a little bit more fashion and design. Hey, what's the worst thing about our product here? Well, they all look like assholes. Okay, so we got to fix the optics. Yes, to their credit,
Kind of did.
they have. It doesn't look nearly as ass as it used to. AJ, don't you think, as one of the first Guardian cap wearers, don't you think it looks much better now than it did?
Yeah, those. I was out of the league before those became a thing, so I've never had the opportunity to wear one. But yes, they have kind of streamlined them a bit. They don't stick out like they used to, I think.
I thought they were originally going to be called the Hawkhead.
They were.
Yeah, that's what they were.
Because
Hawk technology.
Yeah, Hawk technology. And then they're like, well, the Hawkeye technology in tennis might get mad about that. So then they went with, like, what is AJ? Well, he's kind of a Guardian.
Yeah.
So AJ is the reason behind that.
How did they come up with that name, if you think about it?
Looking
What
out
made
for
them
you.
think the
It's
Guardian cap? Not me. I mean, obviously, I have nothing to do with it, but I do really wonder.
U.S.
We're
Coast
gonna
Guard
call it
came
the
up with
Guardian
it.
cap.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher movie.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
Him
about
and
to.
That was a good
Costner.
movie.
Hey, that speech he gives at the end.
Oh my God.
Dude, I'm almost getting tears.
yeah.
Thinking, I don't even remember exactly what is a legend. Is it what you do whenever you're alive, or how you're remembered after you die? I believe is the end quote in that one. But is that why? Potentially because you're just looking out for these people's brains. You're basically their guardian angel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop the angel because maybe too soft for football.
See?
Let's keep it as Guardian. Cleveland Guardians. How do you guys feel about that name? How's everybody? That's kind of just become
Terrible. Go
It's
back.
shite.
No, they like it. They like it a lot. They got the bridge, the Guardian Bridge.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I think
that.
they miss
Bring back Chief Wahoo.
Yeah,
I'm going to let you know that came up in conversation the other day.
yeah. Indianapolis is still bringing it.
Yeah.
I
know
mentioned that. I mentioned that as well. I did mention that. That did come up in convo. Anyways, Pittsburgh Steelers fans obviously pumped up about
Great
what it looks
night.
like.
I don't know if you got a chance to check out Mike McCarthy-led Pittsburgh Steelers. The offense looked good, very efficient. All their quarterbacks seem to play well. But I guess, what do you expect from them this season? And are you surprised, I guess, at all at how Aller, Will Howard, and all these boys played last night, including Mason Rudolph?
No, not at all. They got four guys there that, not just last night. I think a lot of people have high expectations for him, especially in Mike's system that's quarterback friendly. I think Will Howard's almost a forgotten commodity a little bit in Pittsburgh. Maybe not for AJU or me, because I think we're pretty obvious know what he's capable of doing. But I think it's going to be exciting. We all try not to overreact to any of these preseason games. The defenses aren't doing anything that they'll do week one in the regular season. But just fun. This kid out of Iowa, by the way, is a freak. And a lot of people don't know much about this kid. Most of his stuff in college was more as a returner. But this is cool to see. Aaron, Mike reunited, back together, in Pittsburgh, having a chance to show us what they're going to be able to do. But yeah, all 4 guys, opportunity to play, get the ball out of their hands quickly, which is a big part of what Mike's system is. And I know Tone's excited to see what the Steelers are going to be able to do this year, I'm sure.
Yeah, certainly excited. Last night you got a lot of Yinzers excited, not only about this year, but the future, because if this is what these quarterbacks are doing in this offense, cannot wait to see what Aaron does in an offense that he potentially helped create in this entirety. And then also with DK and Pittman and Mount Washington and Freiermuth with his incredibly girthy.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a good word.
Yeah.
Girthy hips to knees.
Dense.
Ham hocks.
They got to be fake. He's got to be getting BBLs in his quads, hamstrings, and his ass cheek.
Maybe.
Cool.
Kirk, I've never been more whole. DK Metcalf and him walked up next to each other. That's my first time seeing DK in real life, too. So obviously you see DK and it's like...
Different. That's a different person there.
And then he's just like, having a good time, ate 10 things of ice cream last night. It's like, good for you, DK. Good for you,
Yeah.
DK. You're unbelievable. He's awesome, by the way. DK is hilarious. I didn't know DK Metcalf was hilarious like that. I don't think we've ever done that. But it was hard not to just stare at what Freiermuth had going on. And then you look at the rest of the Steelers. Coming off the bus, the Steelers are like the Cowboys of old. And I know McCarthy used to be Dallas Cowboys coach, and I'm not trying to tie them together because I'm talking about pre-McCarthy. I'm talking about way back. The Dallas Cowboys getting off the bus used to just be a gigantic crew. That's what they are. That is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are at least looking for or becoming. There's a chance that big physical, especially with an offensive style that can attack, maybe the Steelers go,
Look out.
Bro, I think last time we talked about the AFC North and just how exciting of a division this is going to be this year. With Burrow's team healthy, they picked up a few pieces on the defensive side of the ball with Big Dex. We know what he can do. Jonathan Allen came over, almost a forgotten commodity out there on the inside as well. So their defense, which was a sieve last year, they should be a lot better. If you can keep Burrow upright, you think about the Bengals and the firepower they have. Of course, Baltimore is always going to be a factor, even though you got a new regime there and Jesse Mentor taking over. But Lamar's there, so I think it's going to be a blast to watch that division this year.
All of football is about to be amazing this year. Biggest, best year of all time for all of ball. Cannot wait.